Shan Hai Jing, mystical record of the strange world of ancient times. The Shan Hai Jing, the classic of mountains and seas, is the earliest cultural and geographical record in China. A wondrous book of ancient myths and legends, it serves as a record of geography, regional products and produce, ethnography, and folk customs. Shan Hai Jing is a very good cultural classic in ancient China, but because it records things differently from Confucianism, it has always been regarded as an absurd and strange book. In fact, Shan Hai Jing is a monograph that records ancient natural geography and human geography. It records the origin and development of Chinese culture, as well as the natural ecological environment on which this kind of survival and development depends. During the process of the Great Yu controls the waters, there were observatories named after emperors. They were Emperor Yao, Emperor Ku, Emperor Danju, Emperor Shun, and Gogong. Where are these observatories now? In Shan Hai Jing, it is recorded, the observatory keeper is Lu Wu, a monster with a human face and a tiger body, called Beast of Enlightenment, with a large body like a tiger, standing on Mount Kunlun, gazing towards the east. Why do the owners of these observatories yearn to look to the east? Why were the blacks called Kunlun slaves in ancient times? The ancient country of Lulin disappeared into the desert. We know that it once existed because of archaeological evidence. The imperial seal disappeared in the smoke of warlords in the Warring States period. We don't doubt that it ever existed, because there are records in ancient books. However, according to the Shan Hai Jing, there are 5 fairy mountains in the east of the Bohai Sea, namely Daiyu, Yuanchao, Fanghu, Yingzhou, and Penglai. There are many immortal gods living in the mountains. Due to natural and man-made disasters, the mountains of Daiyu and Yuanchao sank into the sea, and countless residents fled to other places, and some lived in the water. This ancient story has long been regarded as a myth by people because there is no evidence. But stories similar to the existence of Atlantis have been corroborated by Western scholars. The amazing discovery of archaeologists. An article about an American female scholar of geography and archaeology reads like this. American scholar Dr. Henriette Mertz studied the Shan Hai Jing, and tried to conduct an investigation according to the scriptures. She carried her bag and set off on the road. She wants to measure and survey those mountains with her feet like a traveler in ancient China. Her method is, the ancient Chinese in Shan Hai Jing told you to go east, you go east. Let you go 300 miles, you go 300 miles, and see what you will find. After several failures, I went mile by mile to observe the direction of the mountain system recorded in the scriptures, where the river flows out and flows, and the distance between the mountains, and the result was victory. Check out the Rocky Mountains, Sierra Nevada Mountains, Cascade Mountains, Coastal Mountains and the Pacific coast of the central and western United States, and the distances between the 4 mountain systems, peaks, rivers, flora and fauna, mountains and the mountain direction recorded in Shan Hai Jing is coincidence. It is really surprising. An American who has studied the Shan Hai Jing, which is difficult for Chinese scholars to read through, and based on this field survey, discovered that the ancient Chinese had already arrived in America. After studying the Shan Hai Jing, and personally surveying the mountains and rivers of America, the doctor sincerely admired. For the ancient Orientals, who had the courage and perseverance to climb the craggy, snow-covered peaks to map as early as 4,000 years ago, we can only bow our heads. Worship. We must know that the Shan Hai Jing we can see is actually incomplete. The complete version of the Shan Hai Jing has long been lost in the long river of history. At this time, the problem has come again. If the geographical features recorded in the Shan Hai Jing are all real, the Shan Hai Jing recorded more than 400 kinds of strange animals, which are also real. The Shan Hai Jing, Dong Shan Jing, clearly records such an animal. It is called Chu Yu. There is a beast, which looks like a daughter, and a bird's beak, a horned snake-tail. Sleeps when it sees a person. It is called Chu Yu. This animal is like a rabbit, with a long beak like a bird, and a slender tail with round eyes. It can't move when it sees person. If you have ever seen an America's armadillo, you would never doubt the description of the Shan Hai Jing. The America's armadillo is such an animal, as pitiful as a bunny. Why is it like a rabbit? Not only does he have a similar body shape, but his pair of long ears are more alike. Armadillos also have a habit of shrinking into a ball like a pangolin in danger, and of course they will not move. The book also records a kind of strange animal, resembling a rabbit with a rat head, with its back flying. Let us imagine, isn't this a flying squirrel? Is everyone familiar? The rabbit's body is hairy, and the mouse's head is flying on its back. There is also a kind of fish called rayfish, which is as strong as a carp and has bird wings. Isn't this a flying fish? Flying fish can use the fins that look like bird wings to glide up to more than 400 meters. What is flying? There are also records about animals, which resemble owls, have green feathers and red beaks, and speak a human tongue. Let's imagine, if there are no parrots in this world, and some people say that there is a bird that can speak human words, would you believe it? Of course, there are also the mythical beasts recorded in many books. We can't find the corresponding existence in reality. But if we can't find it, it doesn't mean that it doesn't exist. It may not have been described by ancient people in our language. The difference may be that the mythical beasts perished or mutated in the process of development. The Book of Mountains and Seas, the Western Book of the Wilderness of Shan Hai Jing, describes that beyond the Northwest Sea, in the corner of the Great Wilderness, there are mountains, unconnected, and the name is Buzhou. The mountains stood upright in the sun, without shadow, shouting loudly without echo. It's so hot there, it's inaccessible. For thousands of years, scholars have been looking for this mountain of Buzhou, looking for it. It turns out that it is written in the Book of Mountains and Seas that it is in Africa. Isn't the Great Rift Valley of East Africa that is 6 or 7 kilometers deep? Shan Hai Jing, Haine North Jing, wrote, Jiushi country is in the sea. It belongs to Lai Jiushi, southwest, surrounded by mountains. This is of course the Japanese archipelago. The Jiushi here is guessed to be the island of Sakhalin today. Japanese call it Karafuto Island. So Jiushi is Kuiyi. Kuiyi people were demon peoples in ancient times. At that time, the place near the polar regions in the cold north was called Demon Direction. Sima Qian wrote historical records, but came across a book that he didn't even dare to make rash judgments, Shan Hai Jing. Finally, he wrote in the historical records, to all the monsters in the Shan Hai Jing, I dare not say anything. In fact, not only Sima Qian, but also historians of the ages who met Shan Hai Jing had a headache about its content and did not know what to classify it as a book. The reason why historians have different views is because the Shan Hai Jing is really weird. The book depicts an almost bizarre world. There are 9-tailed foxes on the mountain of Qingqiu. On Zhanghu Mountain there is a monster Zhanghu, and the people will encounter floods when they see them. On Mount Jikua, Guyu has a human face and 3 legs. The god who guards the mountains of Weizhong, with the face of a man, the body of a horse, the markings of a tiger, and the wings of a bird. There are countless such monsters in Shan Hai Jing. I don't know if the ancient earth is really a monster rampant. The singularity of Shan Hai Jing is far more than that. The whole book has only 31,000 words, but it records 40 countries, 550 mountains, 300 waterways, more than 100 historical figures and more than 400 monsters. Among them, geography, mythology, religion, ethnicity, animals, plants, and minerals are all encompassing. Many scholars studying the Shan Hai Jing hypothesized that the Shan Hai Jing records the end of the 4th Ice Age, when large-scale new species existed in the Central Plains, such as woolly rhinoceros and various monsters. The ancient extinct animals restored by American scientists using computers are so similar to the monsters recorded in the Shan Hai Jing. With the advent of the warm interglacial period, the geology has undergone tremendous changes. Orogeny or volcanic eruptions are frequent, and a large number of animals and plants have become extinct. This has resulted in the strange phenomenon of the mountain has fire and no trees, recorded in the Shan Hai Jing. The ancients wanted to forge such a phenomenon completely in line with scientific theories. It was simply impossible. Who wrote this all-encompassing, weird and inexplicable Shan Hai Jing? There is no conclusion. The Shan Hai Jing refers to an extremely large area of space on the globe. Today, on a global scale, scientists have one after another found the animals, plants and monsters that this book has recorded, mentioned. Shan Hai Jing may not be a myth, but an era forgotten by mankind. In the common sense of most of us, Shan Hai Jing is a mythical and mysterious novel, but with the in-depth research, it has proved that it may not be a myth book, but a very early book. An ancient book of history is also a geography book, which records various strange events as well as the scenery and animals of mountains and rivers. Now we can see from the existing version that this is an ancient book about ancient geography, properties, mythology, witchcraft and religion. It contains everything such as medicine, B&B, ethnic and other content. The content of Shan Hai Jing is far beyond our imagination. The information is complete, the content is rich, various ancient strange events, various legends and stories. From here we can see a different world. Many people think that many animals recorded in the Shan Hai Jing are creatures in mythology, but in the deepening of scientific research and geographic exploration we have found many ancient fossils and speculated about the living environment at that time. This coincides with many records in the Shan Hai Jing. Therefore, many experts are convinced that the Shan Hai Jing is a real world. However, it is too far away, and many corroborations have been lost, which means that we have lost that era. We must know that the world we see is just the tip of an iceberg. The land area is only a quarter of the ocean area. Those unknown worlds are what we want to explore. Many creatures that we can't imagine may actually exist, but it is difficult to survey at our current level. Therefore, it is irresponsible to speculate that Shan Hai Jing is a fictional mythological novel. I believe that with the advancement of technology, more unknowns will be discovered by us, and it is not impossible to find an era again. Who is the discoverer of the American continent? After research, some domestic scholars have discovered that many American customs are consistent with the description in the Shan Hai Jing. The Great Flood recorded in Noah's Ark in Western myths and legends has been recorded in many ancient myths around the world, which means that this incident may actually exist. Yes, it's just that humans have lost those memories. Many experts speculate that this may be the second melting of the Ice Age, which caused the flood that swept the world. The survivors recorded it, but because of various the reason, in the end, just became what it is now. As for the truth, it still needs further development of science. Our video ends here. If you find it interesting, please press the subscribe button to see the next videos. Goodbye and see you again.